Hello, this is Noel. I'm working on calibration of my CNC machine through Fusion 360 and Mach 3. I came up with a small circle, and I know if I pan I get in trouble here. I made this 1 inch diameter circle, and it is 0.1 inch deep, and I'll look at some of the tool here. I'll show you the simulation, and I want you to look at this number right here as it's going down in, and it spirals out to form the 1 inch diameter circle. And if I go back a little bit, let's see, I want to pause it right when it gets to the bottom. The number of negative 0.14. We're asked it to do 0.1. I'm not really sure why the difference is. This is a bit I bought off of Amazon. I don't want to say it's from China, but it says made in China. There's no description with it. The only thing I can do is diagram it and put it into Fusion 360's tool editor. And I draw a little diagram to help me get the numbers, use my caliper to help get good numbers. I was using this bit for very small detail work and calibration work. I don't know what to say about it. It was very difficult to count the number of flutes on it. I came up with 11, but I think I typed in 12. I need a little better of a magnifying glass to count the flutes on it, but they're very small and they only go up the bit a little more than 2/10 of an inch. But I didn't break it. I was running it at about 15,000 RPM, and I plunged it in. Here's the bit in action on cleaning up the 2 inch by 2 inch, 0.2 inch deep. When I went from 0.02 inch of stock remaining axial and radial to 0. So it's going to cut approximately 0.02 inches off, but it will follow the same pattern to get down to the bottom. So it's ramping down now, and it starts quite a bit above the material and ramps down. It then contacts the wood, and I've turned the sound off on the actual video because it's just white noise and you wouldn't be able to hear me. I'll try to find some way of blending it in, but there's really no way to talk over the sound of this thing. So it puts up a lot of, not shavings, but splinters as it's going through, and I probably don't have the right feeds and speeds, but it is clearing out the pocket. And it works its way out to the edge. And it kind of cleans up everything when it does the final edge cleanup. Now there's a little bit of dead video space here. I'm learning how to edit my videos better. But I wanted to get this portion in where I use my caliper to get a measurement on the 2" by 2" and try to get it on the camera. That's 1.947. And this with the camera angle doesn't look like I got it quite square in the hole, but I was doing my best to do that. And we got a 0.9660 there. This is how I do my depth. And there is a burr on the edge, but I try to pack it down. And it's hard to get in front of the camera here, but that's a 0.265. This is the circle that I did at the first part of the video. A circle seems to be a better calibration method. It's spiraling down to the wood. I've got my Pentax WG1 on a small tripod. Once it spirals down, then it takes off on its feed rate. And this is a two-dimensional pocket. It's just clearing material. But I also took off the lead stock, axial and radial. So it cleans out that pocket quite quickly. I manually move the bit out of the way so that I can clean it up with a spatula and some sandpaper. Because I'm anxious to see how close to the 1" diameter circle I was getting. If this bit had bigger teeth on it, it probably wouldn't leave quite as many shavings attached. .97, that is pretty darn close to a 1". Less than 3/100ths. .975. And here I take the depth reading. 0.159. Now the hole I had planned to make was 0.1. And that's when I did the model, it came out to 0.14. And then when I make the 3D representation on the table, it's 0.159. So I'm not really sure the differences. Here's how I write my notes down. Better handwriting would be a benefit. So I typed them into a spreadsheet here. For the first hole, first 2x2, I had the leave stock to leave, radial and axial at 0.02. And so that's the reflection of the number difference when I transition to don't leave any stock. You can see that the numbers do change a bit. On the XY, it's going to be double that at the very least. And then on the depth, it would be that value.